Hey guys, today I'm here with the Steinjager Polychromoly track bar in Red Baron, fitting all 2007 to 2018 JK Wranglers with 0 to 6 inches of lift. So there's a lot of suspension parts going on with your Wrangler, and all of those are responsible for a certain task, and the track bar is responsible for recentering your axle. So this is going to be perfect for the JK owner who has either lifted their Wrangler and got a lift that didn't have a track bar or a track bar relocation bracket and is looking to recenter their axle. Now this is also going to be perfect for just the standard Jeep owner who doesn't even have a lift and is just looking to do a little bit of extra maintenance on their Wrangler if they have a worn, damaged, or even bent track bar and are looking for a good replacement. Now this option by Steinjager is obviously going to be in Red Baron, so it is going to be perfect for somebody who's looking to add a pop of color underneath their Jeep or also match a red color scheme that they already have going on. Now this is also going to be for somebody who's looking for a very easy to adjust as well as a very easy to maintenance track bar. So this is going to come with Zerk fittings on either side, and is also going to be double adjustable, which means you don't have to disconnect your track bar in order to adjust it, and it's also going to be very convenient. Now with all of that being said, this is actually going to be really affordable and very averagely priced for a track bar, roughly $150. Now there are a couple of different styles of track bars on the page, and they're all going to have their benefits and drawbacks. Now this is going to have poly fixed bushings, so it's going to have polyurethane fixed bushings at either side. However, it is going to be double adjustable, so you do get a kind of a drawback and kind of a perk out of this. Now, in comparison to some other more expensive options, usually those more expensive options are going to have a bunch of those perks or some more bells and whistles. So they may be double adjustable, but also have double Heim joints, meaning they're going to have a little bit more of some range in motion and better articulation in comparison to a fixed joint. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't really think that's all that bad. I still think this is a good product, and in comparison to some other options that you may see on the website, some of those that are more cost effective may be for single adjustable, which is a little bit more work if you're looking to adjust this all the time, or it's going to be for a factory replacement. So in my personal opinion, I think if you're looking for something that is unique considering the color, it's also going to be very easy to maintenance, very functional, and very easy to adjust, then this is going to be the perfect choice for you. So install is going to be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Now you do have to know your stuff in order to get this thing bolted up. However, if you do know your stuff, it's going to take you about 30 minutes with a couple of basic hand tools. So speaking of that install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were a dead blow, a pneumatic impact, a 5-inch extension, 21mm deep socket, a 7/8 inch wrench, an adjustable wrench, as well as a tape measure. So this install is to get the Jeep up and off the ground. Now we are going to be in the front, so you want to take off the front wheels as well as chock the rear wheels. Then you can go ahead and support the axle. I have 2 pole jacks underneath our axle. Just make sure that the Jeep is stable when we take off the track bar bolt. Then we're going to go ahead and take off our axle side track bar bolt using a 21mm socket as well as an extension and an impact wrench. After that bolts out and you grab the flag nut, what we can do is move up to the frame side. So with that same 21mm socket, we're going to take off this bolt. Now there is not going to be a flag nut on the other side, there's going to be a standard flange nut. So I am going to use a 7/8 inch wrench to hold that still. Right, so once that is off, what we can do is wiggle that bolt out and completely remove our track bar. So before we go ahead and install our new track bar, I did want to tell you guys a little bit more about this option by Steinjager, especially in comparison to the factory setup. Now this is going to be a lot stronger than your factory track bar, made of a chromoly tubing, which is going to be 1 1/4 inch thick. So this is going to resist damage a lot better than your factory setup. Now this is also going to have a Red Baron powder coat on here, which is going to protect that chromoly underneath. What it's also going to do is add a pop of color to your suspension and match with any other red accessories that you have going on underneath or even outside of your Wrangler. Now what I do really like about this is the fact that this is a double adjustable track bar. So basically what that means, so if you do have to adjust the positioning of your axle, you don't have to disconnect either side. All you have to do is loosen up these jam nuts and you'll be able to adjust it while it's on the Jeep, being a big time saver and also being very convenient. Now, this is also made of chromoly, so it is going to resist any damage and also last a very long time. Now, the other thing that I do really like about this is the fact that this has polyurethane bushings. That's going to soak up some residual energy with your suspension, and it's also going to last a very long time in comparison to the factory bushings, which can crack over time. Now, these also have Zerk fittings on either end, so you can maintenance them and grease them, and that's going to ensure a longer lifespan out of this. So overall, this is going to be a really good setup, especially in comparison to the factory setup. This is going to offer you a number of different benefits that your factory one cannot. So enough about these two side by side. Let's go ahead and measure this one out so we can mount it up to our Jeep. So before we go ahead and mount this up, I would recommend to measure from eye to eye on each of your bushings here. Now, 33 inches is a perfect starting point. I actually just loosened up both of these jam nuts and put it to 33 inches. Now, it is going to depend on your lift, how you need to center your axle, how long this is or how short this is. So because this is double adjustable, we can mount this up, and if we need to adjust it, we can do that on our Wrangler. So what we can do now is put our track bar into place. I would recommend to keep the dust caps and the Zerk fittings facing up on the axle side and down on the frame side, just so you can easily access them and you don't damage them. We can pop this into place. Just gonna rest the axle side on top of our bracket for now and wiggle this down on in. Now you wanna make sure that the bend is going over the differential. That's exactly what it's for. You might have to give it a little tap with a hammer just to set it. And we can grab our factory bolt, send that on through, and attach the nut on the other side. So I would like to mention that you want to tighten this down while it's down on the ground. You don't want to rip the bushing, and you're going to tighten them back down with the same tools that we use to take them off, and then torque each side to 125 foot-pounds. So after we finish up on the frame side, we can go ahead and attach our axle side. So what I'm gonna do again is just give it a little tap with a hammer. Now, if it's not lining up all the way, what I would recommend is to put it on the ground and have someone turn the steering wheel back and forth. So ours seems to be lining up pretty good, so we can send our bolt on through. Might have to give it a little bit of a tap. So what we're gonna do is tighten down our jam nuts before we go ahead and put this on the ground and tighten everything up. So going to make sure that these butt up against the collar as well as the end of our track bar here, and then we can take an adjustable wrench and tighten those down. I also would recommend to put some anti-seize on this if you do have to adjust it in the future. Say you have a 2-inch lift, you go up to a 4, you need to adjust the centering of your axle. It would be really good if this had some anti-seize on it. It would save you in the long run. So once that's backed up to our collar there, we can take an adjustable wrench and tighten that up. Now what we can do is put our tires back on, lower this down on the ground, tighten everything up, and torque them each to 125 foot-pounds because we don't want to tear the bushing, tightening it up here, and then putting all that weight down on the Wrangler. So after you're finished bolting this up, you would want to put it on the ground, tighten everything down, and torque both ends to 125 foot-pounds. Now, in order to adjust it, since we did start at 33 inches from eye to eye, you're gonna want to measure from the frame to the end of your tire or the outside of your tire on either side to make sure that they match up and that your axle is perfectly centered. Now, because this is double adjustable, you are able to loosen up the jam nuts and adjust this on the Jeep to recenter that axle. You don't have to take it apart again just to adjust it. So after you're finished with that and after everything's centered and torqued down, then you're all set to go. So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe, and for more videos and products like this, always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.